Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the stallion that I like. Hair from Cali, I live in the valley. Then you look sexy.
Yo, it's official. Like a referee with a whistle. Like, share the video and all that good stuff. You know. So what's going on in this crazy world that we live in? What's going down? You know? It's hot outside. What? 95 degrees today? Well, it's been in the 90s for the past, 2 weeks? Where I'm at. It's been hot, past 2-3 weeks. Which I'm not complaining. I like it hot. I don't like the cold. So it's all good. I ain't complaining. When it get cold, that's a different story. I'm a tropical brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't like cold weather. You know what I'm saying? However, with that being said, we live in a world where things are set up to be in a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people don't talk about some of the stuff they go through or encounter for whatever reason, you know. And you got some people, man, out here, they're professional ass kissers. Some people, man, that I've met, even some people that I know, they have a different mentality than me. You know what I'm saying? I have a different mentality, I think, than most people. I started seeing this when I was in my late 20s. There's some people out here that'll put up with anything. They'll put up with anything. They'll let people screw them over, mistreat them. They put up with all type of shit. All type of shit. All kind of crazy shit. I don't tolerate a lot of that shit. If I don't like how I'm being treated, I do something about it. I put a stop to it. I let that person know that you can't talk to me like that. I ain't the one. And I don't care where this may be at either. I don't care if it's on the job or I don't care nothing but none of that shit. I don't care if it's a family member. It don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if my mom, my dad, or whatever. Even though it never happened, I never had to check my parents about anything. Because my parents had enough respect for me when I became a man that they know how they raised me. They know how I mean, they know how I get down. So my parents always respected my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So we never really had no static between us. You know? But we live in a world now where everything you say and do will be used against you, whether you like it or not. Whether it's true or not, you could be saying some shit that's you might say it ain't nothing. You might say, "Hey, this ain't. I didn't really say shit. Shit, I told him I didn't really care." You might just be rambling and rambling, and you be like, "Yo, that shit wasn't really a big deal." What I said to him or her at some place of business or wherever, right? But that don't mean the shit what you said can't be used against you though, or that they won't use it against you. That's the thing you always have to keep in mind. That's why I don't talk a lot. I don't ramble and just be talking and just to be talking. And I don't have a lot of people up under me or close to me that I don't really know that well. But I know how this shit can go out here. Especially when you conducting some type of business. Or when you're in a place of business. And you're talking to somebody one-on-one. And it's your word against their word. And they're the authority figure. They writing everything down that you're saying. And they might be adding some shit in there sometimes, right? But turns out later, you found out they added some shit in there, some additional shit. And then you challenge that person was a liar. You didn't say all that shit. At least you might have said some of it, but not the way he or she said it. So now it's your word against his or hers. But they're the authority figure. They've been hired to do a job. So who you think they're gonna believe? They're gonna believe that person that they hired are gonna get the benefit of the doubt because they hired that person. They don't know you from a can of paint. They're gonna take the side of that person. Even though that person might been proven to be a liar. But they don't know you at all. They're gonna take that other person's side. The doctor, the lawyer, the realtor, the well-known person, a celebrity, public figure. You're a nobody to them. This other guy or gal, they're well known. They're an authority figure, well respected in their field, a study. They're an expert, a specialist, right? So whenever you speak, they're like, "Oh, you don't know nothing." You know what I'm saying? Even though you came up in there to talk to them, You kind of entrusted them. I don't, I don't look at it like that, but I'm just telling you how most people look at it. Most people look at it like this. If they got a PhD behind their name or MD or some specialized letter behind their name, most people kind of they trust these people with everything. I never looked at it like that. I never looked at any man or any woman like that. I don't trust any man or any woman with my life. I never looked at it like that. Why should I trust you with my life? I'm talking to one person here now. I'm not talking about a group of people. I'm talking one person. And the shit goes left. I found out that this person's a liar. I talked to the person above this guy or gal, and I said, hey, I filed a claim. I said, hey, this person's a fucking liar. I never said no shit like that. You know what usually happens in most cases? Nothing usually happens. In most cases, if it's your word against his word or her word, nothing usually happens. Unless you have a recording or some shit like that. That's usually how it go. You know? People lie all the damn time. People lie all the time. You know? And this type of shit, the finesse is real out here. And people are being finesse everywhere. Like lying is starting to be like normal today. It's normal to lie today. I mean, every time somebody talks, I'd be like, yo, is they telling the truth about everything? Especially if they're talking a lot. See, if you have to talk a lot, you really don't know what you're talking about. Somebody that knows what they're talking about don't have to ramble. They'll just get to the point. Less is more. You know what I'm saying? People that have to ramble and on for like 5-10 minutes telling you what they do, they don't know what they're talking about. That's usually how it go. You know? So you just got to be careful. Everyone doesn't have your best interests. And no one's going to care about your life as much as you. You got to always keep that in mind. Not your parents, not your brother, your sister, your wife. Nobody's going to care about your life as much as you. I don't care how much we love you. Nobody loves me as much as me. Nobody loves me as much as me. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible, man. It's like when I meet people, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt on anything. I don't know them from a can of paint. And see, most people in North America, I'm going to say most, I don't know no numbers, but I'm telling you my experience. Most people that I meet are awful people. Most people are awful that I meet. You know, you might say, well, most people are, generally speaking, they're good people and this and that. Bad people, good people do bad things all the time. Whatever, dude. Whatever. You can call it what you want to call it. If I'm a good person, why I gotta do bad things all the time? At some point, when does a good person stop doing bad things? How long that's gonna last? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Do you really believe that a good person can consistently do something or live a reckless lifestyle for 10, 20 years and still think they're a good person? Do you really believe that bullshit? That ain't adding up. I don't buy into that. And I don't even think anybody that's like that would buy into that. You're the only person that's buying into that nonsense that people say, oh, good people do bad things all the time. Bullshit. Most people you're going to run into are not good people. They're just who they are. That's it. Now, I'm not saying they won't. Well, they cross you, try to take advantage of you. It depends on what type of person you are. When it comes to that, really, if you are, if you know what you want, you tell them straight up what it is, you probably won't have no problems. If you know what you want, you probably won't have no problems. But if things go left, because most things don't go as planned, there's a chance you might get taken advantage of. Now, you might get what you want, but you might end up, you might not leave exactly with what you want if things go left, or if you have to adapt along the way. Now, you might say, well, why you have to hang around people like that in the first place? Well, that's a good question. That's a fair question to ask. Well, most of the people that I meet, well, let's take the good people. When I say good people, I'm talking to people with good morals, good values. They solid. These are people that for the most part, they're stand-up guys, stand-up men and women, right? That's what I mean when I say a good person. Now, a lot of these people, the good people, don't usually have access to things that I want. And if they do have access, they probably got a raw deal. And if they did get a raw deal, they might not even realize it a lot of times. And a lot of the so-called good people that me and you know, the reason why they don't have access because people don't really want them around. The bad people don't really want the good people around because the good person with morals and values and that's solid and respected, that person is going to change the culture. That person is going to become a troublemaker. But the bad people that's mistreating and taking advantage of everybody in that space, in that environment. So they don't want no person around with good morals and values or someone that's well respected. They want a person around that ain't got no morals and values. They want a person around that's gonna sleep their way to the top up the corporate ladder. They want a person that will do anything for money. or do anything to get what they want. These are the type of people that they want around. They want a cutthroat son of a bitch. That's who they want around. They don't want nobody around that's going to look out for the group or look out for the team. No, they don't want them people around like that. Those type of people usually have to create their own environment, have their own little club, create their own team. Yeah, that's how that usually go. Even if you take a person that's coming from a good place, background, moral, character, solid, and you put him in around a pack of wolves, man, he ain't gonna be able to last long in there. He's gonna have to get up out of there. Over time, now a lot of people will say, well, good people need to get in positions so they can make a difference. Man, a good person ain't gonna be able to stand most of them damn environments. It's too corrupt. Man, they'll eat him alive, him or her alive. And they're not gonna be able to do shit. They're not gonna be able to make a difference. Because they're gonna be too goddamn corrupt, and that person gonna be around a bunch of bloodsuckers. They're out. It's too many of the bad people around, man, to make a difference. They're gonna be ganged up on. It's hard to make it. Look, it's a team sport out here. If you're by yourself and you're around a pack of wolves every day, man, you're not gonna be able to do very much of anything. You're gonna get blocked. You're not gonna be able to do anything. You're surrounded by a pack of wolves. Yeah, picture this. You're around a bunch of wolves, 15, 20 people every day in the office. You're trying to make some shit happen, but every time you request something, the shit get knocked down. You're not gonna be able to work with. You're not gonna be able to make a difference in an environment like that. What's gonna happen is you're gonna have to, either you gonna leave or they're gonna get rid of you. That's usually how it go. I've seen it play out like that many times. Or the third thing that could happen is you become one of them. You become one of them. Boy, that happens a lot too. Because you become, if you stay around people long enough, that shit start to rub off on you after a while. So you take that shit, you take that same energy home that you got at the office. You take that same energy home, and now you got problems in your home life now. The husband don't like you, the kids don't like you. You fucking your whole family up now. And it's all because you got finesse at the job. They made you feel like you were better than you was at the job. They made you feel like you could do better at the job. You got finesse. And you took that same energy home and told your husband that, hey, I can do better than you. I can do bad by myself. And you got finesse at the job. They lied to you. This happens to women all the time at the job. A woman will work a job, and she might have a decent position, but for whatever reason, she swears that she got this new belief all of a sudden that she's the Don Diva at the job. And for whatever reason, she thinks that the rest of her and her, she thinks her whole entire life should be that way. But I'm like, no, a job is just a job. That's only one environment. A job is a kind of a fake, organized illusion, control workspace. A job environment is not real. It's a you look, you can create any type of culture, any type of environment at a job. Every company is different. Every company got their own culture, their own way of doing things. A lot of them are the same, but most of them are different. But you can create any type of culture you want. Positive or negative. Toxic, whatever, you can do whatever you want. But your home life ain't supposed to be like the job. It can't be that way. It's not supposed to be that way. Your relationships is not supposed to be like the job. It can't sustain that. Your personal relationships cannot sustain over time like you operate at the job. And a lot of people have a hard time understanding this. It can't last. It won't last. The job is a fake environment that was created way before we were born, in most cases, depending on how old you are. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some new companies, they trying to they put their own little spin on what company culture is or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's fairly new. I'm talking like these old ass companies like Coca-Cola, UPS, and these companies been the way they've been for forever. And they're not going to change because it works for them. They don't care about you as an employee, regardless of what you think. But that's the game that they play because they want to try to get the best out of you. And somebody has to lose, and it's probably going to be you in the end. But you get to justify being all stressed and all that shit. You get to justify it going through all that bullshit by the pay. And it doesn't matter how much money you make at that job, it's never going to be worth all the stress and the strain and the chaos. And the pay is never going to justify all that bullshit. It don't matter how much money you make. If you hate it, you're stressed out all the time, you're sick, there's no amount of money worth that shit, in my opinion. You might be different. You might think it's worth it. You might think your $20, $30 an hour is worth going through all the bullshit and kissing the ass and letting your manager and supervisor talk to you like a dog. Talk to you like shit. I don't see it that way. Because at the end of the day, I'm a man first. That's how I approach any and everything. Regardless of what you think of me, when I walk in the room, I'm a man first. I don't care nothing but no titles. I'm a man first. And anything that compromises my manhood, I'm going to push back on that. I'm going to reject that. So at the end of the day, regardless of what you say, regardless of what you recommend, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to make my own decision. You know why? Because this is my life. This is my body. And no one is going to take responsibility and care for me, my life, as much as me. And no one loves me more than me. Yeah, no one loves me as much as me. And a lot of us, we get shit twisted sometimes because we think just because someone treats you good or they're nice to you when you go to see them, we think that somehow we think that they like us. What? It's people that actually think this. We think, I used to be like this too, by the way, when I was in my 20s. This is my way of thinking in my 20s. When I was in my early 20s or a teenager, because, and I'm going to tell you where this stems from. Because when I was growing up, if I'm dating a girl and we hug and kiss, we go together. If we have sex, we go together. It's me and her, one-on-one, imano imano. Ain't nobody else, right? This is how I grew up now. Now, there's other places, other countries in the world, they operate like this. They think like this too. But this is how I grew up. If we kiss, if we had sex, we go together. You my girlfriend, and you're my boyfriend, whatever the hell that means, right? Now, by the time I hit early 20s, that shit started to change. It started to be where you can hang out with a girl, hang out with a guy, hug, kiss, suck, whatever, and wake up the next day, eat some breakfast, hug, see you later, see you next time, I'm out, peace. But that was just, last night was just entertainment. It don't mean I like you. It don't mean we just had a good time. I had fun. Whoop-de-whoop. That's it. Right? When I was growing up, that scenario that I just described was never like that. No, when I was growing up, as a boy or even as a man dealt with one woman at a time when I was growing up. It wasn't no you running through guys like that unless you was a player. Now the player dudes, the dude that were players, you had to have money to have a lot of women like that. Now today, you don't gotta have money to have a lot of women like that. You don't gotta have no money to have a lot of women like that. But that shit's changed. That started to change when I was in my early 20s. I saw that shit. I went through that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that comes from. And then I started meeting more women that were like that. And then I seen other guys, football players, basketball players, when I went to college. Not only were they running through women, they were having an orgy. I mean, like, That shit blew my mind. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Nah, you got to think about it. I'm 19 years old when I went to college for the first time. Man, these football players, man, it was like a cabana. The women were everywhere in the dorm. Well, we weren't in the dorm all the time, but they have like an off-campus apartment at the time. So these my homeboys, Chris and Dalvin. Chris and Dalvin at the time. These my homeboys. They've been there they've been to college. What? I think they were junior and senior at the time. Junior and senior. So I'm a freshman, right? So now they got the hookup. They plugged in. So you got to hook your homeboy up. I'm the new guy on campus. Yo, man, that's my homeboy. I hook him up. So my homeboy called this girl up, and this is back when nobody had cell phones back then. Not like that, anyway. This one you had to have a landline, analog phones. He called this girl and said, "Hey, my homeboy over here. He's new on campus. I want you to show him around." This girl came over, knocked on the door. I'm like, "Who the hell is this?" Came over. Now I didn't know she was coming. I opened the door. She was like, "Hey, you such and such?" "Yeah." "Oh, I'm supposed to hang out with you and show you around, show you a good time." So I'm like, "What the hell?" "Oh, okay." And that's how it went down. And that shit used to happen all the time. I've had that experience, I don't know how many times. I've done the same thing to some of my other homeboys or my other buddies. It could have been their birthday. I'm like, "Yo, I got this girl for you. It's his birthday today. Show him a good time." Boom. Just like that. But that only happens if the girl respects the guy that's calling her, that's telling her what to do. That's the only way that scenario happens. If the girl don't respect the guy that's doing the talking, that's saying, "Hey, that's my homeboy, hook him up," that scenario that doesn't go nowhere. Even though she could be a hoe, it still ain't gonna go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So the point of me telling the story is you can finesse almost any situation. It don't matter what the laws is, the rules, all rules will be broken. All rules, all laws have been broken by now. That's the world that we living in today. And is nothing fair either. It ain't nothing fair. That shit is over. And this ain't an American thing. This is worldwide. And I've traveled to a lot of these countries that a lot of these guys been to. I don't see anything fair. I don't see a lot of people being honest. If people can cut corners and get away with it, they will, in most cases. I'm just telling you what I've seen, and I'm telling you the people that I've known over the years. And I know a gang of people from all walks of life, from the richest to the poorest, and the people in between. It don't really matter. The only difference between the people that make the most money is they don't have to be around you. They don't really have to do anything, would you? They ain't desperate. They kind of like, hey, it's whatever. That's their attitude most of the time. That's one of the big differences between the rich and I would say working class. They ain't, they ain't not really desperate. They ain't. If they don't see you again, cool. They didn't lose nothing. If they don't work with you, that's cool too. It ain't gonna change nothing. And see, I learned like when I started traveling and going to all these places. Even when I went to college, and even when I went after college, I went in the military. I realized that everything that I've been taught, a majority of it were lies. Majority of it were lies, man. Most of the shit, the way things happen in this world, the way shit gets done, it doesn't work the way we were taught in school and on the television, and shit really don't work like that. A lot of shit that happens is organized for the most part. For the most part, it is. Especially the higher you go, especially. I mean, if you're at the bottom, you probably if you want to move up, you're gonna have to finesse. You have to become a master finesser. And you gotta have some money and a lot of luck if you're coming from the bottom. And like I said, a lot of some of the worst people that I know, they're plugged in. When I say they plugged in, that means they make shit happen. They're in positions where they know the right people to get shit done. Unfortunately, there ain't a lot of good people around. Ain't a lot of good people around the bad people. Because they shut the good people, they get rid of them motherfuckers. They don't want to be around them. Because the good people become a threat to the bad people with no morals and values. Cutthroat motherfuckers. Ain't no cutthroat motherfucker want to be around a person with good morals and values. That goes against everything he or she stand for. Ain't no bad person want to be around somebody that cares about how other people get treated while they on the movie set. That person gonna become a troublemaker. But that's the world that we live in today. Nothing's fair out here. And if you're looking for a leader, you better look in the mirror. And if you think, well, I ain't ready for leadership yet, well, you got to work your way up to that. Nobody's coming to save you. You can forget about that. Nobody's coming to save you. And you're gonna have to take care of yourself as best as you can. There's nobody gonna care about you, your health, your spirits, your spirituality, financially. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care as much as you, ever. And it's hard out here. It's a very difficult place to live today, regardless of where you might be in society. And it ain't no perfect place either. Ain't no perfect place. You might have good friends in certain areas or whatever. But everywhere I've been, there's some bullshit. There's pros and cons, you know. Everywhere it's like that. There's no perfect place. I always say I use these places like prostitutes. Yeah, I'll stay one place for a while and I'll visit one place, make friends there, and that's it. But I don't I haven't found no one place besides home. Home are always gonna be home, right? There's no place like home for me. But besides home, I haven't found no place where I could live here for the rest of my life. No, I haven't been in no place like that. I've been in no place like that. You know, and a lot of these, when you go overseas, these other countries, it's not foreigner friendly, if you know what I mean when I say that. A lot of these places are not really set up for foreigners. Now, a lot of these places, they're getting better, but it's not really set up for foreigners. And this is why a lot of foreigners get taken advantage of. They get robbed, get the shit stolen, all type of shit. They get the damn property jacked. Anything can happen. And it only happened because you were a foreigner. For the most part, if you were a local, that would have never happened. So I saw a video, like a couple videos of some guy was in Ghana. He bought a house, and I think he had it for a couple years over there. And some white investor from Europe, some shit like that, someplace like that, wanted to buy the land where his house was on. So they told him his house had to go. So by the time he went back, I don't know, I think he probably was in America at the time. But by the time he got back to Ghana, they were tearing his damn house down. They were running up in his house, taking all his furniture out, putting on the back of the truck, and motherfuckers were looting at the same time. And they were tearing his house down. And he was standing there looking at them. And he was trying to find who's in charge of this whole operation of tearing the house down. And he found, I guess, the project manager, whoever he was. And he basically said, hey, he was told to tear your house down, tear this house down, and take all the furniture out and everything. Because this land is being bought by some white European investor in Europe. In Europe, some damn place. That type of shit happens in a lot of these countries. Because there's no, and you want to know why it happens? There's no rule of law in a lot of these places. They'll change the rules whenever they see fit. Whenever they see fit, they'll change the rules. Only when it benefits them, though. You know what I'm saying? Well, there's no perfect place, bro. Regardless of look, you might have good relationships in these other countries. That's great, bro. That's great. You found a girl that you close to. Hopefully she likes you and you don't get caught up in just the sex. Hey, see, good sex don't equate to she likes you. She might just be cordial, just being nice. That's probably who she is, bro. But that don't mean she likes you and want to be with you. No, man. Stop it. There's nothing wrong with being nice to people. That's a given. You should treat people nice anyway, just socially speaking. But that don't mean they like you. That don't mean they like you just because they want to have sex with you. It might be a fetish. It might be a fetish. You know? And I can tell if it's a fetish. I can tell. I've been around. I know what's a fetish and what ain't. I know what's raw attraction or interest, some type of interest versus a fetish. A fetish, if someone has a fetish for you, they don't really care to get to know you. Not really. They don't really care to get to know you if they have a fetish. They usually don't. Now, could it change over time? Of course, things could change over time. People change all the time. Relationships change all the time. But just know where you at with who the people that you're dealing with. That's all I'm saying. Don't think it's something else that it ain't. Don't fool yourself like that. That's all I'm saying. Thing is, I've dealt with almost every type of woman you could imagine. From the hoes all the way to the quote, quote, good girls. Whatever you want to call them. I dealt with I met every type of woman you get to the prostitute walking on in Hawaii on the corner. I met every type of woman you can imagine. And let me tell you how I met a lot of these women. I was so naive. When I was young, I could not tell who was a prostitute. When I was in Hawaii, Hawaii is a little different than these other cities. See, in Hawaii, all the women are walking down the same street in Hawaii. And it's not like this in most cities you go to. There's a whole stroll, a street where the hoes is at, prostitutes at. Not in Hawaii. In Hawaii, all the girls walking down the same street. I could not tell who's who. So that's how I met them a prostitute in Hawaii. I didn't even know it until she told me in so many words. That's how naive I was when I was in my early 20s. I didn't know no better. Because where I'm from, ain't no damn prostitutes. Well, it ain't no prostitutes where I'm from. If there is, I don't know them. I mean, when I was growing up, I didn't know them. I didn't know none. I'm from a small town where everybody know everybody. Directly or not indirectly. I ain't from a big city. I'm from a small beachfront town with a beachfront and a river on the other side. Everybody know each other. It's probably what? 50,000 people? 50,000 people is not a lot of people. That's not a lot of people. Especially if you've been living there all your life, that ain't a lot of people, 50,000. You know? And it was fun. I had a fun childhood growing up. Everybody knew me, damn near. Well, the majority of people knew me. I didn't have to worry about nobody taking advantage of me, jerking me around, finessing me. Even today, when I go back home, I don't gotta worry about none of that shit. I can put my guard down and relax when I go home. I can go home, sleep with the door open at night. Nobody's gonna come in and rob me or steal anything that I got. Yeah. And when I go home, everybody loved me. Everybody loved me. Yeah, man, but the finesse is real. But check this out. Let me tell you. Instead of trying to avoid being finesse, I lean into it now. That's what I started doing like 10 years ago. I beat them to the punch. If I know how this person thinks, I beat them to the punch. I say or do the things that they think I'm supposed to do. In most cases. Now, I'm not going to go too far now. Because like I said, at the end of the day, I'm a man first. But I'll say and do what they think I would do only if it benefits me. It has to benefit me in some type of way now. So I lean into it. I say everything that they thought I would say. And sometimes, I say most of the time, I catch them off guard. Because they never thought that I would, they never thought I had the balls. They never thought I would say what I said. Or did whatever I did. They didn't think I would do it. At least they didn't think I had the balls to do it. You know? Because a lot of people think they're much more intelligent than me. Because a lot of people's, men and women, well, especially white people, a lot of people are betting that you don't know what they think you should know. They're betting that you don't know so they can take advantage of you. That's most people's, I'll say that's probably most people's game. They're like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of him because he doesn't know what's really going on. By the time he figures out what's going on, it's gonna be too late. I'm gonna go in and snatch what I need to snatch, and I'll be gone. But when they come in, I'm waiting on them, and they end up getting finesse. That's what usually happens. And like I say, I get, if I get in and I get out quick. I get in and I get out quick. It's like if I have to do business with shady people, I get in and I get out quick. If I have to do business with somebody that I know that's trying to take advantage of me, I get in and I get out quick. Simple as that. Now, there's some people I've met over the years. They're in some of us have been dealt a bad hand in life, right? There's some people who have to do what they have to do, not because they want to do it. That's their only option at the time. And I had a girl tell me this shit years ago. I had a woman tell me some shit. It was the realest shit some of the realest shit I ever heard. So, this woman told me this shit. She said, I fuck with them because I have to. I fuck with you because I want to. That's what she said, man. That was some of the realest shit I ever heard. She said, I fuck with them because I have to. I fuck with you because I want to. And I understood exactly what she meant. She didn't even have to explain. You know, sometimes what's understood don't have to be explained, man. I understood. Enough said. You know what I'm saying? I got it when she said that. And there's a lot of people in positions like that. They've been dealt a bad hand, so they got to make the best of what they have until they can do better, or at least put themselves in a better position to do better. That happens, every once in a while, But if that person is willing to come clean like she did, I gotta respect that. I have a certain level of respect with somebody like that, that's willing to come clean like that and say what it really is, and not the way, not be faking and fronting like most people would do. And to this day, me and that woman, we friends. Well, you call it whatever you want to call it, but we're close. You know what I'm saying? Because most people you meet, they're not going to be honest. They're going to lie. They're not going to tell you that they're in a bad position. They out in these streets, and they fucking around with people that don't really want to be around. And see, when you hang around people that you don't want to be around, that sucks the life out of you. That sucks the life out of you when you hanging around people that you hate. You hate being around these motherfuckers so bad. You got to get high and drunk and hang around these damn people. That sucks the life out of you. But when you're around people that you do like, that you enjoy being around, that brings more life into you. That fills you up. That gives you energy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. You know so I lean into the finesse. Yeah. That's you can't really it's hard. I don't really get played like that. I don't get taken advantage of like that. I've been living long enough to see that I've seen so much in a short period of time in my 20s and early 30s. I've seen almost every scenario that could happen. So I don't anything that I see today, I'm like, I seen that shit 5, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It ain't nothing new to me. Shit. It's just a different person. The whole thing is a mind game. Psychological game. That's what this shit is really all about. It's much bigger than a skin color or religion, and it's much bigger than that shit at this point. Like when it comes to the racism type shit, that's kind of low level shit, to be honest. Like see the one thing I respect about the young people today. When I say young people, I'm talking in the early 20s. Young people today have enough sense to know that this shit is much bigger than racism today. It's much bigger than that today. Now here's the catch. It might not start off being about racism, but it usually end off being about racism. But it's still much bigger than racism, though. And that's how most people think. And unfortunately, you have a lot of racist people in power positions to make decisions that don't benefit me or you. If you're a non-white person, that's just what we got today. But we have to deal with it, and you can't run from that shit. You can't run from the isms. You can't run from that shit. Doesn't matter how much money you got. It doesn't matter where you live, unless you're living out in the fucking woods or in the mountains. But even if you live out in the boondocks, you're gonna have to come out of that woods at some certain point, and there's gonna be a racist at the store waiting for you that ain't never seen a black person before. You know what I'm saying? You can't get away from that shit, man. And you know what's crazy? The more money you make, and this has been my experience, the more money you have to spend, that's when you're going to run into the racism. The more access, the money and resources you have, that's when you're really going to run into it. Because a lot of people have this attitude like, you ain't supposed to be here. You ain't supposed to be hanging around us in these spaces. So it's that type of mindset. So you can't run from that shit. You're gonna have to face it at some point if you live long enough. But like I said, I lean into it. I finessed I've become a master finesser over the past 15 years. I've mastered being a finesser. I anticipate what people are gonna say and do before I even walk in the room most of the time. Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at doing that. This is why I always ask people where they're from. Ask people where they're from because I can kind of, based on where you're from, I can kind of figure out how you grew up and your way of thinking. So I engage them, hey, where you from? And then they get to talking. And see, when people start talking, they can't help to tell you who they are when they open their mouth. If you sit back and listen long enough, people will tell you who they are. And if they don't tell you who they are, because maybe they don't want to talk to you because they don't like you. That's cool too. And if that's the case, I'll be able to pick up on it through their body language and their energy. I'm going to figure you out regardless, whether you say something to me or not. See, the body never lies. The words that come out of their mouth might be a lie, but the body never lies. So I've mastered this shit. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. You know? So whenever I go around, it doesn't matter where I go around what group of people, I don't even got to speak their language. I'm comfortable. You know why? Because I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know who I am. And if people start acting or doing something I don't like, I leave. I plan to leave. I get out of there. You know why? Because I don't have to be there. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. I don't have to be anywhere where I don't want to be today. It wasn't always like that, but it's like that today. It took me some time to get there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my Patreon. My Patreon is my Patreon is still up. I'm gonna put the link in here, man. Anybody wanna if you wanna ask anything, click the link. Let's talk about it. Yeah, my Patreon is still up. It's Sharp Game. It's patreon.com/Sharp Game. Basically, you know. But yeah, I've become a master finesser, bro. Look, you can finesse anything. Anything. There's no situation where I've been in where I felt like I didn't have a chance and I couldn't get out. None. You know, and here's the thing. If I feel like if I'm in a situation where I know I'm going to lose, I'm not saying I think. If I know I'm going to lose, I cut bait and I get out as quick as possible. I cut bait and get out as quick as possible because I play to win. I don't care what it is. I don't care business, whatever what it is. I play to win. And if I'm in a situation where I know I can't win, I get out. I'm out. I don't play to lose. You know. Now, tough decisions have to be made sometimes. Sometimes you got to take a step back to move forward. Sometimes you got to take a loss to move forward. Some people are not willing to take a loss to move forward. But tough decisions have to be made sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. You know, that's the difference between a man and a woman. That's the difference between a man and a woman. Women get emotionally attached to almost any situation. As men, you can't. I can't really afford to be attached to material and even people. All you have is the moment, the time that you spend around people, or the experiences. That's all you have. So you might get in your car, you love your car. You might get in your car, you driving, having a good time. You taking a vacation. You spending time with the people you love and care about. That's all you have. But the car can't love you back. I don't love anything that can't love me back. I don't love anything or anybody that don't have the capacity to love me back. All you have is the moment. All you have is the time being spent, the experiences. But I don't get attached to none of that shit. And I don't get attached to anybody that can't love me back. There's some people, men and women, they're not capable of loving you. They can't. Some people are broken. You might like them. You might love them. But they can't love you back. They don't know how to do it. They're broken. And I know people that's like that. But I know they can't love me back. I can love them, but I can't expect anything in return. I can't expect them to feel the same about me as I feel about them. Because they're not mentally able to do it. They don't have the mental capacity to do it. And it took me a long time to get to that point, to understand that. And just deal with it as is. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fair. It's not right. It just is what it is. And it could be your friend or your family members like that. That's just how it is. Sometimes. You might see them, you hang out with them, have a good time or whatever. And you be like, how come it can't be like this all the time? I want to be with her. Or I want to be with him. You can't be with everybody that show you a good time or you like and care about. Some people, you have to love them from a distance. Just because you vibe with somebody, you have good sex, have a good time, When you see them, they roll out the red carpet for you. But they know that they can't be with you. And it tears them up inside more than you think. They would never admit this to you. You're going to meet somebody like this one day, and you're going to be like, damn, this a bad bitch. We vibing, she's loving, caring, she support whatever I want to do. But she knows she can't be with a guy like you. You know why she can't be with a guy like you? Because she don't trust herself around a guy like you. She know that she would ruin your life if she got with a guy like you. She know that. She don't trust herself. She know you're the guy for her, but she don't trust herself. She knows she would blow it. She knows she would blow it. And you want to know why? Because she don't think she deserves better. She don't think she deserves a guy like you. So she'll spend time with you. She'll come visit you. She'll roll out the red carpet for you. She'll pay for everything. You don't gotta spend no money. But she'll never be with you. She'll never be in a long-term relationship with you. Because she know better. You might not know better. You might say, man, shit don't make no sense. It don't make sense to you, but it makes sense to her. Because she knows who she is. That's what it is, bro. That's real. That's the realest shit. That's probably the realest shit you probably ever heard. And there's nobody gonna talk like this online. Nobody's gonna tell you that shit. Because most of these cats ain't had the experience. They haven't lived long enough to have an experience like that. Half of these guys that you probably listen to ain't never had a woman spend no money on them. They spending all their money on the woman. They ain't never had no woman spend no money on them. Half these guys ain't never had a woman buy them nothing. Every time they hang out with a girl, I gotta meet her at the restaurant or at the bar. You always gotta go somewhere. How come she can't just come over in your house? Then if y'all want to go somewhere, you go somewhere. How come you gotta take her out all the time? Because she ain't really feeling you like that. The guy that she's really feeling, she's gonna leave. When she leaves you at the restaurant, she's gonna go to the guy's house that she's really feeling. And she's gonna bust it open for that guy. And he's not gonna have to pay a dime. He's not gonna have to spend a dime. But she never treated you like that before. She only give you the lazy sex, the lazy suck. And why would you want to be around a woman that's like that anyway? You know you're getting the lazy sex, the lazy suck, but you put up with it anyway. And you want to know why you put up with it? You put up with it because of the same reason why that girl won't be with you. Because you feel like you don't deserve better. That's why you put up with it. That's why you put up with it. Because you don't think you deserve better, just like that girl that don't want to be with you. She don't think she deserves better, just like you. And if that's you, you need to work on that. You need to work on that. You need to have a strong self-image of yourself. Because if you don't see the light in you, if you don't see goodness in you, you don't see greatness in you, you're always going to crash and burn. You're never gonna rise to the top. They say the cream rise to the top, right? They say the cream rise to the top. If you don't have a high self-image of yourself, you're always going to have relationship problems. You're always going to have financial problems. You're going to have a whole bunch of problems. Even if you get lucky and become successful in anything, or get lucky and get the girl you want, or get a girl that you attracted to, it ain't gonna last because you won't have the charm, charisma, and the confidence. They keep it and maintain it because you feel like, oh, I don't deserve it. Deep down, you feel I don't deserve better, so you just blow the relationship. You'll blow your opportunities. That's why you see a lot of people that are successful. You be like, damn, they had it all, man, and they blew it because they didn't think they deserved it deep down. So don't let that happen to you. And P.S. and by the way, if you haven't got any of my books, Love Can't Wait and Boss Life Secrets, they go to Amazon. They're on Amazon.com. That's where all my books is at. Yeah, they're on Amazon.com. Boss Life Secrets and Love Can't Wait. I'm going to put the link in here. You know what I'm saying? That's where all my books at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have been asking about it. I don't talk about it as much as I should. But that's where all my books at. You know what I'm saying? People and P.S. and by the way, if you ever bought any of my books, leave me a review on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? That's the link. Yeah, leave me a review, man. You know what I'm saying? I need more reviews on Amazon. That's what I want. I got pretty good reviews, but I want more. I want at least double. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's all I got. Like, share this episode. Check out my Patreon. Check out my books and all that good stuff. Till next time, I'm out.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like.